this is the biggest one.
Yeah, from everything that I've ever saw or read, because I haven't seen squat, because I haven't been up there to the distilleries, but there's a handful, there's a few, but these guys, Hachiton, they're probably the biggest in the entire state. So,
like a month or 2 months ago, we did a review on the World Whiskey Society. A very interesting bottle that was sourced from Oklahoma. And
weeded bourbon,
yes,
finished in peated Scotch barrels,
indeed,
sourced in Oklahoma.
And by process of elimination, we theorized that
Kind of figured
the juice came from.
it was the. I personally think, now I'm sure they signed NDAs or
Of
whatever,
course.
but
So we're shooting in the dark.
I kind of thought it was from them because they're the biggest distillery in Oklahoma.
They're about the only distillery that has the volume to handle outsourcing.
Yeah. So
Outsourcing
what's interesting about Hachiton is they're kind of like Frey Ranch.
Yeah.
So they're a grain to glass.
Frey Ranch, by the by, is out of Las Vegas.
Nope.
Fallon,
Nevada.
Nevada. Yes,
Way
they sell in Las Vegas.
Way up north. Yeah, in the state. So these guys kind of do the same thing. They grow their own stuff, from what I was told. Do the milling, do all the distillation.
Which is very cool. Now, I don't believe this is a 4-grain, correct?
I don't think so. So it didn't say it's a 4-grain. That's just going to be their straight single barrel coming in at 120 proof. So it's basically a full proof offering, but it's not technically like a cask strength. Even though with wording, people get away with that crap all the time. They say cask strength and it comes out at 120 or 125.
It's more about getting in the ballpark of it. Now, it has been aged for 5 years.
Yeah, so
Aged at least 5 years.
a lot of their stuff, because they got started, I believe, in 2015. I believe is when they got started. So, it's been now 11 years. So in the beginning, a lot of their stuff obviously came off kind of like a craft
Yes.
thing because, obviously Oklahoma's pretty warm and humid.
Very similar to Texas, but Oklahoma has a bit more variation than Texas.
Wilder temperature swings for the most part.
Whereas in Texas, the temperature swings are noticeable, but Oklahoma, it'll be.
Well, especially here in Central Texas.
Here in Central Texas,
it's pretty homogeneous.
Will vary 20 degrees, but for the
Yeah.
most part,
Well,
well,
and
it's going to be hot and humid.
Like 1 or 2 weeks in the winter, we actually get winter.
Yes, that's
where
true.
it's cold, but so Oklahoma's a little different. So a lot of their stuff originally came out at 2 to 3 years. With a new craft distillery, that's kind of what you have to do.
That's
That's
just the cost of doing business.
A lot of investment, right? You're buying stills, you're building rick houses, you're building buildings to do all the distillation in. You're buying barrels.
It's made harder because they do the grain to glass thing.
So they just don't go out and source stuff. But up in Oklahoma a few weeks ago, I had been wanting to try this, so I saw this at the store. We've been here a year and a half, so probably 2.5, 3 years ago.
Really?
They did a collaboration with Oklahoma State University. Now, no offense, we are not Oklahoma State fans. However, I thought it was cool. I had never heard of them before.
That was cool.
I looked them up, said a couple years back, and they had some different offerings. We don't see them in Texas, at least down here in Central Texas.
No.
I never saw it in North Texas the whole time I hunted up there. We were in Tulsa. They had this offering. I couldn't pass it up because I really wanted to try it.
Should be pretty straightforward as far as their flavor profile. It's a single barrel, so there'll be some variation on there, but I'm expecting that this is going to be pretty indicative of what the distillery usually does.
I mean, if you just look at it, I mean that color, that's 5 years. That's pretty intense.
Yes,
I personally think it's pretty intense because you get a 5-year, Kentucky whiskey.
It's just getting started.
Yeah, and it's just put on his training. But smelling this smells freaking like a mature.
I'm glad they kept it at 120 proof. That's quite
Yeah.
nice.
I mean, I'm looking at the Knob Creek 12.
Yeah.
And like the richness that I get on that from being in a barrel 12
The
years.
color strikes you as similar.
Yeah, I'm like, if you gave this to me blind, I'm like, ooh, this is an old whiskey. Tristan's sick, by the way, so God bless him. So when he coughs through all this, it's okay. He shouldn't be doing this anyway, but we needed to shoot some videos.
I do it for the culture.
All right, well, get a little bit of whiskey in you. See if that helps you cough.
Definitely.
But it smells super like a nice sweet oak, a little bit of powdered sugar. You know, the fruits. Once again, I'm almost getting like the fruit cocktail, but it's syrup.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. It's very much fruit cocktail.
It smells awesome.
No, my initial sip, it was very heavy on the corn.
Okay. Yeah, it comes off a little. Yeah, it comes off a little corn forward, which for sort of a craft distillery,
That's to be expected.
it kind of makes sense.
Like, it kind of reminds me of Iron Root in that way.
Yeah, well, they're actually pretty close.
Mm-hmm.
They're actually pretty close. This is
Southeast Oklahoma.
southeast. Yeah, I was right. It's Broken Bow, Oklahoma. So when I looked it up, because I wanted to go up there because I was so curious about what they do.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, in Texas, you got on the border, you got Gainesville on the west, Sherman and Denison about an hour to the east, and Broken Bow is probably like an hour and a half north of that. So it's southeast Oklahoma. Yeah, super interesting. I don't hate it. The nose is very different than the palate, I think.
I would agree with that. The nose is quite sweet, whereas the palate is very
The nose is awesome. Let's be honest.
I like the palate too, though. The palate is funky, but you know the corn note. It's not overwhelming. It also doesn't taste like it's immature.
Well, to be fair, 120 proof,
120
craft distillery,
fresh crack,
fresh crack, first
impression.
First sip in like 3 or 4 days for me.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't had any whiskey at all, so yeah, I love the way it smells. Let's taste it one more time.
I get a little bit more of the sweet oak and the sugary notes on the palate when you go for the second and the third sip.
Okay, it's a little better. It's still
Very corn.
It's still very corn forward.
Right,
Which,
but it doesn't taste like yellowtail. It kind of reminds me of the more exotic varieties of corn, like the Bloody Basin or
yeah, it could be a red or a blue corn.
the Bloody Butcher, excuse me.
Yeah, Bloody Butcher. Yeah, it could be that, or yeah, they don't really tell you what corns they're playing with, but
I'm sure they'd tell us if we went up there.
Yeah, I would think it could very well be a varietal, not just your standard.
I don't expect as much, especially if they're growing it themselves.
So I'll tell you this:
Talk to me. Tell me how you feel.
if you're just a normal everyday whiskey bourbon drinker in particular, right? And I had this bottle, I'd probably have it open just so you could try it. If you're in the beginning stage of your sort of bourbon journey,
This isn't sweet enough.
this might be a little too weird.
It is too weird.
For me, where I'm at currently,
For me, where I'm at.
for you, where you're at currently, it's very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? The nose is phenomenal. The nose is really phenomenal. I'm gonna go for one more and see how it mellows out.
The palate's growing on me. Yeah, it's not like some worse bottles of Texas whiskey that I've had where it tastes like I face planted into a pile of hay.
Yeah, or
And
hit in the mouth with a piece of freaking scrub oak or something. Yeah.
No, this tastes very earthy.
Yeah, that's a good word. Yeah, very earthy. Yeah, it's
got a lot going on.
still pretty viscous.
It's very viscous.
You know, palate-wise to me, it's relatively simple.
Mm-hmm.
It's very corn. I'm not getting a ton of oak. I do get a little effervescence, right?
I didn't get any of the effervescence.
I did a little bit, but I'm really sensitive to that.
Certainly.
Could it be youth?
Could be, but it's aged 5
Could
years.
be, but it's aged 5 years
in
in
Oklahoma.
pretty hot state. I actually like it.
I like it.
Yeah.
It's neat.
Yeah, I think, once again, caveat that by, if you're a newbie,
Proceed with caution.
proceed with caution. But if,
I've set on them because they're cool.
they're hard to find. Like I said, I had to drive freaking 7.5 hours north to find it.
Out of curiosity, how much did this bottle?
This
run
was
you?
one of the expensive
North of
bottles.
70.
Excuse me. I think it was, and I say expensive meaning that out of the stuff that I bought, sort of my cap was, like 70-ish.
In our world, we call that when you start catching grief for the amount of whiskey that you bought.
Or when you only have X amount of dollars and you're trying to maximize your dollar.
Correct.
Right. And to be fair, they didn't have anything that was like 150 that I had to have.
Mm-hmm.
My budget wasn't that much, to be honest with you. I think
It was actually you kept it quite
it was
conservative.
like $240 at the time is what I had to spend there. But yeah, so this was about $70.
Makes sense. It's a single barrel from a craft distillery. They're the biggest distillery in Oklahoma.
Yeah. Very, very cool though.
Very good. Very good. This is.
I would be excited actually with what they're doing to actually go up to the distillery and
certainly
try to get like a, I don't want to sound like a douche, but like a private tour. Like, hey, let's get in the weeds a little bit.
A little bit like the tour that Iron Rig gives,
Yeah.
which is very much for the dorks.
If you want it to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you ask,
Yeah.
if you ask the right
If
question.
you don't care, then they'll show you their brains and stuff, and like, this is what we do. And you're like, okay, cool, thanks, bye. Go buy a T-shirt if you want, like I did. But yeah, the cool thing about those guys, if you get in the weeds, they're like, how deep do you want to go, bud? Let's fucking go.
This rabbit hole goes.
Let's get in it.
Oh, it's quite good.
This is really good. I'm glad we got it.
Yeah, it being corn forward is not a detriment. Sometimes it is, especially when the corn note is like candy corn. But when it's proper corn, like
So let me say this.
corn husk or what have you.
Yeah.
Hit me.
It doesn't say, it's not like cornbread or
No.
cornmeal. But yeah, so I'll tell you my experience, and I'm not talking shit about the distillery because I like a lot of stuff that they do.
Mm-hmm.
But earlier in my whiskey journey, I stumbled onto Texas whiskey,
Which one?
particularly the Balcones bourbon.
Remind me briefly what Balcones is.
Grab it and try it.
I can't reach that.
So, no, don't worry about it. So they're notorious for their single malts.
Mm-hmm.
So they're really good at single malts. That's kind of what they started
They're
with.
also known for the Texas bourbon, which is
Yeah,
very.
the red label, and I don't think, from what I understand, because they got bought out a couple years ago, and from what I had heard, they were kind of doing away with the bourbon line. They were just going to focus on single malts
They're best at single malts.
and maybe play with the rye a little bit. But anyway, point of the story.
Early on.
I was stoked because I'm like, Texas, shit, let's try it. I love Texas. And all these years we're back in Texas. But it was so corn forward and so bitter oak forward that
Bitter oak, that's key.
it really threw me for a loop. And I'm like, oh, this is, mind you, I'm drinking Woodford Reserve. I'm drinking regular bourbon. So I'm like, this is completely off kilter to what I'm used to. Who the hell's calling me? Bullshit scam. Get out of here, dude. We're busy. So anyway, this isn't so much like that. Maybe because I've got, 10, 11, 12 years into it now.
You've developed your palate quite a bit more. I mean, at that time, you didn't even like Scotch.
Yeah. So this is not that, I don't think. Like I said, this is more for maybe a mid to advanced.
Into advanced.
Right.
It's not super weird because it's still pretty straightforward.
Very straightforward.
There isn't layers and layers, and also it's not 140 proof. It's a quite reasonable 120, which is a funny thing to say.
But what's interesting though is I think that if you're like, in the bourbon world and you bought something like this, on the nose, it smells like, kind of hyper-aged bourbon. It smells phenomenal. It's just the palate's going to be a little bit different for you.
Mm-hmm.
But if if you're, like I always say, if you're curious, then it'd be a fun one to have.
I think we owe it to ourselves to go and visit these cats.
Yeah.
Because I like what they're doing. Just
Well,
off this first route.
we'll have to buy some cameras, and go film it for content. That'd be kind of cool.
We'll take one picture and then we'll talk about it. We'll talk
Just
about
have
it in the
that,
truck.
have that on the thing on the YouTube.
Yeah.
Just one picture.
And then we're sat in your pickup truck talking about it because I don't want to be on a tour with a camera.
I know. Those are cool, but it's like after the first one or two, you're like, it's kind of seeing it all. Seeing it all, I get it.
We should go and visit them.
Content creator.
Don't accuse me of that.
I'm not. Somebody asked me that the other day. Like, oh, you're an influencer. I'm like, no.
I hope not.
I said, me and my son sit around and shoot the shit. He just happens to record it. Like, if people want to watch, great. Anyway, wrapping this up. This is actually really good. I'm stoked we got it.
I want to see more from them.
Technically, our first Oklahoma bottle.
Yes, technically.
So, if you see them, I don't know how distribution's probably not great, but I wanted to talk about it.
If you're in Oklahoma, pick it up.
Or you're near around, maybe the distribution's
In the vicinity of Oklahoma.
getting a little bit better, but they're still young. They've been doing this now for 11 years?
Mm-hmm. Which is nothing in the world of spirits.
Not when Knob Creek 12's sitting there, Baker's 13 years there, Old Bones 15, IW Harper 15, Calumet 16.
That's before you get to the Scotch distilleries. But keep an eye on these cats. I got high hopes for them.
Yeah, glad we bought it.
Like and subscribe.
Circus is so lame.